Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 6 of Timeliner, my progression-locked Ironman series where I'll be exploring the world of Runescape, one game update at a time, only with the gear and skills available up until this point. I've teased it in the last episode, but once again the countless reworks of the early quests have led to yet another roadblock. Quest number 22 and the final one from the 27th of February 2002 is Hero's Quest. It got a couple of relatively high skill requirements, which would just require a couple hours of grinding, when using old skilling methods that is. But just like Dragon Slayer, it also has a quest point requirement, of 56 to be exact. 4 points more than we currently can achieve. I thought about what to do for a bit and decided the best way to continue is to complete all other requirements with the current restrictions, then move along the updates until we get 56 quest points, and then jump back to tackle Hero's Quest. This should hopefully be the last quest point blockage. The follow-up, Legends Quest, also has one, but it is a bit more lenient. And if I didn't miscount, we should achieve it passively once we get there. Now then, skill requirements. We've got quite a few of them. Let's start at the top and combine fishing and cooking. Conveniently, we are already here in Caverby, with plenty of fishing spots both near our range and a bank. With a perfect place to train. We need level 53 in both, so with just one more for fishing and 9 for cooking. While lower level fish, such as trouts and salmons, would be better in terms of XP per hour for both skills, I want to save a few more lobsters for future combat sessions. So for around an hour or so, I ran a couple laps from the fishing spot to the range to cook them, and then to the bank to store the results. Rinse and repeat until 53. Let's see where we ended up. Quite a few burnt ones, but it was pretty AFK and those should last for a bit. Now then, on to the next requirement. Mining. That's an easy one. From 32 to 50 it's just some 80k XP or so, for which I mindlessly picked iron southwest of Varrock and coal by the barbarian village, of which I have not a single clip. Strange. But no reason to drag it out. Here's 50 mining. And a quick peek into the bank. Around 1100 iron and coal to turn into steel bars for the next smithing session. Now the last requirement that can be completed. Herblore. We've just unlocked the skill last episode and are only level 3. Luckily 25 is not a steep goal, just 8k XP or so. But training Herblore without trading and without farming is a bit tedious. You've probably gotten plenty of herb drops yourself from random monsters while grinding Slayer and such. And this will be our only way to train the skill for quite a while. And the best monster to kill are the Chaos Druids in the Taverley dungeon. On average, they drop around 0.3 herbs, of those that we can use at a low level. Only Guam, Tarumine, Mardentil and Haralander. The RuneScape 3 wiki doesn't state exact numbers for drop chances here, so I went off those from the RS3 wiki. But the math's somewhat aligned to my kills, so it's close enough. To get to 25, we need roughly 180 herbs in total, depending on the distribution, meaning around 570 dead Chaos Druids. They are really weak, so the toughest part is navigating the environment and running back all the way to Falador to bank. And to account preemptively for any miscalculations, I went for one more inventory when I needed to. Aside from being wanted for genocide, this is what a couple hundred Chaos Druid kills got us. That only leaves the secondaries. To turn the Guam into attack potions, we need Eye of Newts, which the Herblore shop in Taverley can supply, as well as some vials, which back then could only be purchased empty and had to be filled manually. But the main issue, once again, is money. Why must everything be so expensive? Back to our good friends, the lobsters, and selling another couple inventories to the fish traders for some coins. Now, with a fresh stack of cash, we can afford the remaining Eyes of Newt and vials. For Tarumine, we don't need to do anything, as we've gotten enough limp words to turn them into strength potions while killing hill giants in episode 4. And Mardentil will also not cost us anything but time, as we need unicorn horn dust for anti-poison. Southeast of Varrock is a spawn of 2 of them. I'm alternating between the two legacy worlds to cut down on the wait time. Look how fancy they spawn in. Fabulous. Alright, that's the last one. Now we need red spider eggs to turn our Harderlanders into restore potions. Unfortunately, energy potions were not yet in the game. But the spider eggs are at least easy to come by. Down in the actual dungeon, 6 of them spawn close to each other. A couple world tops later, we finally have all herblore ingredients gathered. Just filling up the vials and we can begin. I don't know why, but I love training herblore. All the setup with no reward and then big XP drops. Feels good. And I did not miscalculate. Amazing. 25 herblores with herbs to spare. Here are our potions. Attack and strength will be handy for the next melee combat, and anti-poison surely is always useful. So, this was it. All requirements for Hero's Quest are done, bar the quest points. It's unfortunate that I have to skip it, but I couldn't think of any other way to do it. So for now, we pretend this was all for the 27th of February and jump 1 month into the future to the 25th of March. We get an area expansion to the west of Kandarin, a mini quest and a real quest, as well as a new skill, fletching, giving us the ability to craft ranged weapons and ammo. And this was also the day we added more trees than just the regular ones. Who'd ever cut a tree before that time? Certainly not me. There are no legal logs in my bank. Oh no. With that out of the way, it's time to tackle the first mini quest. Alfred Grimhand's Barcrawl. A joyous adventure of responsible drinking around Gillinor. We started here by the Barbarian Outpost, which has been moved from its original location. It used to be at the spot where you can now find the Legends Guild. I'll hurry up to get out of the Forbidden Zone. The Barbarian at the gate wants to find out if we have what it takes to be one of them. And that certain something is alcohol tolerance. To prove our worth, we are being sent to all the pubs in the area to get a special drink. Nothing easier than that. Let's start with a refreshment in nearby Sears Village. And please ignore all these weird place names of locations that definitely do not yet exist. Much better. Now they're crossed off. Unfortunately, over the years this quest was expanded to include more pubs than originally, so I had to take a quick trip there. But I closed my eyes, so the RuneScape 3 first impression will still be available. Now then, which ones are missing? We start off in Portsarim. Take the ship over to Karamja. Run across the volcano to the new city of Brimhaven, which would have been featured in Hero's Quest, Grumble Grumble. Take the ship back and run to Falador. But not for the Mind Warp this time, but an ominous Hand of Death cocktail. Then to the worst pub in Varrock. And saving the best for last, the Blue Moon Inn. Here we are treated as friends at least. Hey! I've barely caused any ruckus around here. That's a baseless accusation. There, that's what you get for accusing me of being rowdy. Now we just stagger back to the Barbarian Outpost and hand over our card, verifying we drink at every pub. And quest completed. Unfortunately just a mini quest, so no quest points. But it is a requirement for the next one. Quest number 23, Scorpion Catcher. The wizard Formac, near Sears Village, is in need of support. He has lost his pet scorpions, because of course he cannot be a normal person and have a dog or a cat or whatever. But no worries, our tasks are our speciality. 3 of them have run off and might be all over Gillinor by now. As a reward, we are being promised upgraded battle staffs. He gives us a cage to catch them and directs us to the Sears in Sears Village north of here to get hints of the current locations. What a fitting name. Luckily, the Seer offers help without wanting something done first. But his help is not that helpful. Only a cryptic clue sends us forward. A dark place between an holy island and a lake. Well, that must be Teverly Dungeon between Entrana and Teverly Lake. That part was easy to figure out. And we can even see the scorpion from the entrance, if we look careful enough. But the next part is where I'm a bit stumped. Because I've done this quest in OSRS, I know that to get access to the deeper parts of the caverns, we need a dusty key first. Unless we have a high agility level, another distant skill. This key we can only retrieve from a locked up adventurer in a prison of the Black Knights. I found absolutely no hints anywhere that would guide us here. If you know how one were to figure that one out, please let me know. But no matter. After our well-prepared fight with the jailer, we get a prison key, free the adventurer locked up in here, and he gives us a dusty key to move deeper in the cave. Should have brought some food. That fistfight left us half dead already. Surely we'll be fine. Either we get insanely lucky or something was changed about dragon aggression, but we run past them unscathed. The black demons, however, are not so merciful, and of course we get poisoned just as we face inside the room with the scorpion. Get inside the cage, little guy. Now, how do I get out of here with the poison ticking? Certainly not panicking right now. Huh? What? We just respawned in Burthorpe with our inventory. I was worried I had to take the trip again. This is not quite what would have happened back then, I think, but I'll take it. Now back to the seer to get updates on the last two scorpions. One of them was taken by a brutal man who lived 2 canoe trips north of Lumbridge. This one also confuses me. I know the canoe system, but it was added around 4 years later. It seems a bit odd that it would be referenced here. I tried looking up the original transcript or videos from Runescape Classic to see if that was being said back then as well, but I couldn't find anything. This dialogue is usually skipped, as it is not needed to catch them. Anyway, the other scorpion is hiding in a Zadadomin monastery, where we are going first and catch the absolute drip of a best prayer armor before Proselyte. The last scorpion was brought back to the barbarian outpost, the access to which we've gotten through the Barcrawl. Now, with all 3 scorpions safely stored in the cage, we can return to Formac, who magically makes us around 6,500 XP stronger and lets us upgrade elemental battle staffs to mystics. But getting elemental battle staffs with the current loot drops is a very tedious task, so I probably won't use that service. The only thing left on today's update is the fletching skull. I don't have a reason to train range yet, but I at least want to give it a go. This was one of the oldest money making strategy for noobs, collecting flags outside Seer's village. Just turning them into bowstrings up here and store them in the bank for later use. We fletch a couple of our remaining normal logs into arrow shafts, buy some feathers to turn them into headless arrows, gather tin and copper to make some bronze bars and subsequently some arrowheads, and combine them all into bronze arrows right in front of the eyes of our future prey. We grab one of our bowstrings, fletch one log into a short bow and combine them into our first ranged weapon. Oh yeah, take that you goblin. At some point in the future we'll be spending a bit more time ranging here, but for now I'll be calling it quits for today's update of the 25th of March. We'll jump forward 2 more weeks to the 9th of April. Another quest was released, number 24, Family Crest. A family's crest has gone missing, and with it the wealth. But before we can help them, we've got a couple skills to level up. Mining is already done, but we still need to smelt our iron and coal into steel and make something useful out of it to get to 40 smithing. Well, it's quite easily done. Around 400 steel bars or so are all that's needed. Most of them will be turned into armor pieces to get some money from vendors and a few into arrowheads for potential future fletching sessions. And that's 40. For crafting, I wanted to try out another one of the meta methods for Classic, silver jewelry. For that, we just run some laps between the Alcarid Bank and the silver rocks to the north, banking around 500. And then turning them into bars and subsequently unstrung symbols for 50 crafting XP each. Pretty quick method, all things considered. And there's level 40 already. Now there's just one more to go. 59 magic. We're a bit far off with level 13. Let's try luck with Hill Giants in Natural Dungeon once again. Oof, yeah, that's not gonna happen. This takes forever. Magic used to be very strong at low level, as very few monsters had any magic defense whatsoever, and the max hit of spells didn't scale with your magic level or gear. But things have changed. I'm just tickling these giants now. Additionally, the actual dungeon was remodeled in 2023, and the save spots are far worse now. Back to the chaos it is. We die pretty quickly, and just like that, we hit 41 already. Why 41? That's Air Blast. Since runes are very expensive, I'll try to only use those provided by my staff. With this spell, we should be able to deal a bit more damage. And I've also realized that we can get some upgrades. Mage gear was very limited at the time. Aside from our staff and hat, only 2 more items were available. An amulet of magic and a wizard's robe. The latter of which is currently not available, since the wizards at Wizard Tower are no longer attackable. Would have to wait until the release of a magic skill to near nil for that. So all that remains is the amulet. We've gotten the crafting level and all materials to make a sapphire amulet, so now all that remains is 1 cosmic rune. There's a spawn of exactly 1 in the far north of a wilderness. A long way, but since we only need the 1, I think it's fine. Ouch, there are quite a few monsters up here now. Can't remember those. Without food, I'm surely dead. Yeah, about expected. Another trip with some fish should do it. What? That's half my HP per hit. That's not gonna happen. Alright, back into the dungeon. These hobgoblins have a chance to drop the rune, so we get it eventually. But before we got that, we hit the rare drop table. A loop half of key. Neat. Just need the tooth now. And a few kills later, that's a cosmic rune. Now we can transform our sapphire amulet into an amulet of magic. It feels exactly the same. Marvelous. Back to the grind. Oh, whoa, no way. A champion scroll. Oh man. These are 1 in 5k from skeletons and eventually lead to the championscape, but they were only added in late 2005. Oh, this feels bad to let it go. But it is what it is. And now, finally, after a few good hours of alternating between just about every monster I could think of, we hit 56 magic. Why just 56 if we need 59? Because I cannot be asked to do 3 more levels here with this setup. And through a sip of a wizard's mind bomb, we can temporarily boost our magic level by 3. Now, that was a solid prep work. Finally, onto the quest. Deminthius, a resident of a shady part of town, tells us that he is of a noble family, but the family crest is lost, together with his 3 sons. The crest is a certificate of their lands and riches, so he wants us to find his sons and the crest. He's heard rumors that the son was sighted near the west gate, so off we go. There he is, cooking in Gertrude's home. Cannot blame ya for that lifestyle. Caleb tells us that the crest was split with his 2 brothers, as they couldn't decide who gets to keep it, and inherits the family wealth. Now it is up to us to find the brothers and convince them to return their parts of the crest. Caleb has a simple wish. He needs just a couple of cooked fish. A quick stop by Lumbridge to catch and cook a salmon, and the rest we can get in Caverby. It's a long walk from Lumby, but since we finally got some magic levels, there's now a much faster way. Teleports. Oh yeah, that's amazing. For you, this makes no difference, as I just cut out the walking, but for me, it's a pretty big time save. So we just fished up a couple of things here, cook them all, and zoom, it's back to Caleb. First part of the quest done, as well as a hint of where to find the next brother, Avon. The gem trader in Alcarit has seen him, directs us to the mining site just north of here. Avon is quick to return his part of the crest, but in turn wants some perfect golden jewelry to impress a lady. A dwarf by the name of Boot should be able to help us. Boot directs us to Witchhaven dungeon near Caverby, but warns us of dangerous foes there. Geared up, we teleport back to Caverby and run south to the dungeon. I can see the perfect gold ores behind this wall, but the door is locked. This is just Ernest the Chicken all over again. So we just push levers up and down until we hit the right combination. and hope the dogs won't kill us before we got 2 pieces of ore. Done, and poured it out of here. This feels so good. Wait a second. Ozone! Aren't you supposed to retrieve the Karibib and not be dazzle random guards? Unbelievable. The next part is a bit problematic. We need 2 rubies. As of April of 2002, there were only 2 ways to get one. Either hit the rare drop table and then roll a ruby there, or kill chaos dwarfs until they drop a muddy key to open the muddy chest in the deep wilderness. We've gotten one of them during the magic training already, so just one more is needed. And currently, the only spawn of chaos dwarfs we've got access to is the Heavily dungeon. With the help of some world hops, the muddy key is not far away. Now we just need to get there. In the meanwhile, I've read up a bit on the dangerous monsters in the wilderness. Apparently part of some recent rebalancing to make it more dangerous. But only on members worlds. So if you stick to the free-to-play worlds, we've got the monsters that originally were there. Yeah, that's pretty safe. Now at the muddy chest, we hop to a members world and open it up to get our guaranteed ruby. Wait, what? Where's the ruby? Where's the junk? Oh. It might have been helpful to really read the muddy chest article on the wiki. This was just the historic drop table prior to 2016. Yeah, great. So there's just the rare drop table left. Well, the chaos dwarfs can hit it and they're easy to kill, I guess, so back to it. Maybe we'll hit 50 attack that way. And we are blessed, as just a couple of world hops later, one of the dwarfs drops an uncut ruby. Perfect. Back to Falador, smelting the bars and making a perfect ring and necklace. With those 2 items, we can return to Avon and receive the second part of a quest. The last brother is in a pub outside of Varrock, the same one we visited for the Barcrawl already. Upstairs we find Jonathan, but he's speaking in delirium about some poison. Good thing we've made some anti-poisons while training Herblore. A quick trip to the bank later, we use him on him, and now he tells us that he lost his crest while fighting the demon Chronozon, a mighty opponent in the Edgeville dungeon, surrounded by poisonous spiders. And the only way to weaken him is by using all 4 kinds of blast spells on him. Now we can put our magic training to use. Geared up with the worst staff and just a blue hat, we head down into the wilderness part of a dungeon and realize that this quest was moved. The demon used to spawn right here where I am. Oh well, no big deal. Now demon, prepare to die. That's all for spells to make him take regular damage, but we're getting absolutely blasted here by these spiders. Everything is multi-combat now. They are ranged and they barely deal any damage. This is not good. I've tried to research a bit, but with our limited magic gear, this just is the way we have to do it. Luckily, the demon does not heal in between banking trips, so we can slowly whittle him down. Not the ideal way, but it works. In the end, I try to melee him, and while we have a much better defense now, it still doesn't help a lot. But no matter, 5 trips to the bank are all that's needed to outlast him. Down he goes, and he drops a final piece of the crest. Let's quickly get out of here. Combine the 3 pieces and return to Dementius to hand over the crest. I don't know why he's trying to make some kind of back alley deal out of this. This is not really illegal what we did here, is it? Anyway, quest completed. 1 quest point and a pair of gloves, which we can upgrade into 3 different versions. Until 2005, this was a permanent choice. The goldsmithing gauntlets were reworked to allow automatic banking of smelted bars, and with the chaos gauntlets only buffing bolt spells, which we will no longer be using, the choice is clear. This will mean fewer burnt lobsters in the future. Need rewards? And the grind progress the count a good bit. Unfortunately, we are still missing 2 quest points until we can go to the Heroes Guild. April 9th was completed and the next update came exactly 3 weeks later on the 30th. 1 new quest and a new skill. We've got thieving. Finally another ethical way to make some money aside from murdering goblins. And as a sort of introduction, we get quest number 25, Tribal Totem. But before we can start, we need 21 thieving. Thanks to Stolen Hearts, we've got a level 3 head start already. So I'll just pickpocket some men around Lumby for level 5 and then head to the new city of Odon. A mighty city with political intrigue and the center of a long future quest line. But for now, all we're interested in is stealing some cake. Now let's see, in OSRS I just position myself directly on top of a baker and safely steal away. Doesn't seem to work here. We get spotted. Trying different side is not effective either. Don't know if I'm missing something, but this is not the only place to train. Aside from the bakery stall, there was also a thievable tea stall in Vardok. That's working fine. Level 21 took no time at all. Alright, now let's head on over to Brimhaven and talk with Kangay Mao. Their tribal totem was unjustly taken by the expeditionist Lord Handelmort, and they want it back. Man, can you imagine just sailing to a foreign nation, taking their cultural artifacts and displaying them in a museum? But no worries, we've got this. The only hint we get, however, is that the Lord lives somewhere in Odon. Hopefully, we'll have more luck stealing from him than from the cake stalls. So, which house is it? Probably the largest one. Yep, looks right. The gardener blurts out that we need the Lord's middle name as some kind of a passcode. Unfortunately, I cannot find any way inside, either from the front or the back. Let's take a look at the neighboring houses. There's a little guidebook here. The middle name is Kurt. Excellent. Doesn't give us anything else to work with though. Let's check the other houses, maybe someone's got something to say. Took a bit of trial and error, but eventually we find a source of help. The local wizard has got a teleportation device stuck in customs service. He could teleport us to that device at any time. That might come in useful. In the customs office, we now swap a label so that it gets delivered to Lord Handelmort and talk with the wizard to get teleported inside. Perfect, let's investigate. So here's where we need the name. Kurt and open. Oh, a trap. Alright, same spiel again. Back inside, we disable the trap and can move upstairs. Now we just search around for a totem and bingo! That was easy and no further traps. Just returning to Brimhaven and quest completed. Some more thieving XP, food and a quest point. Just one more missing, but none that can be gained in this update. So we jump forward one more month to the 28th of May 2002. On this day, 2 more quests were released. Both of them with no prior skilling requirements and both very short. So I'll be doing them both to get this day finished. Now then, quest number 26. Fishing contest. A grumpy dwarf in front of a tunnel near Caverby yearns for a golden fishing trophy of a nearby Hammonster fishing contest. But dwarves are terrible fishermen. Well, we've got the odd fish or so we offer to give it a try. The contest is just a bit to the west, so let's see what awaits us. An entry fee despite a competition pass. What a rip-off. Alright, first of all, we need bait to fish here. But let's also have a chat with the contestants. Of course we don't want to give the secrets away, but Grandpa Jack, the previous champion, seems to do just that. And conveniently, he lives just next door. Winning sounds easy. Just use the right bait at the right spot. Red wine worms near the drainage pipes. And to make sure the vampire doesn't claim the spot, we just need to scare him off with garlic. In nearby Sears village we find a clove of garlic, and near Kruber's woods we can find the red wine worms. Go away doggy, I'm just filling up on run energy. I will surely not break into this garden. Great, that's a couple worms, now we head back to the contest. Put the garlic in the pipe to drive away the vampire, and use the bait to fish up a giant carp. That's a prize fish if I've ever seen one. And indeed it's a winner. A nice golden statue is our reward. But to get our real reward, we have to hand it over to a dwarf for our last missing quest point. And also, we get access to a tunnel beneath Ice Wolf Mountain, if we ever need the shortcut now. Alright, we could technically call it quits here, but I don't want to leave a day half finished. So just one more quick one. The final quest of the 28th of May is number 27, Monk's Friend. A group of monks south of Verdun need some help. Would you please not walk away while I'm talking? Thank you. So, a child's blanket was stolen and the crying now keeps up the monks at night. The thief's hideout is nearby at some kind of stone circle. Easy enough. That looks like a round formation of stones. And a ladder popped up. Perfect. There's the blanket too. We just run right past them and return the blanket to the monks. But of course that's not all. They've got a birthday party planned for the boy, but Brother Cedric hasn't returned with wine yet. Alright, I'll go look for him. My man, you are literally 20 meters away. You can see the monastery. He needs a jug of water to clear his head, and the bucket lying around here is not good enough. Always these people with their standards. But the bank is closed, so here it is. One jug of stale water. Now he needs wood. Couldn't you have said something earlier? Back to the bank, grab a hatchet, fell a tree, and bring him some logs. Done. Now that was everything, and we can celebrate. Oh yeah, boy, let's break it down. Quest completed, lore runes, and another quest point. This was everything from today's update. We've progressed the account a decent bit, especially the teleport spells are so useful. This all took a little bit longer than I expected. It's weird to see early mage to be so weak, but it is what it is. I hope you join me next episode, when we finally become heroes.
Greetings. Welcome to the Heroes Guild.
Have a great day. Bye.